Hello, everybody. I'm Enrico Benzoni, Technical Alliances Manager, Orchestration and Automation at Sumo. Welcome to this live session and looking forward to meeting you at the RSA conference next week, where you can see our live demos. You can see us in action at the booth 5463 in the North Hall. So today we are going to talk about the automation of security operation. That is our solution called Cloud SOAR, and we are focusing the attention on the key points to consider when you introduce automation in your SOC. So let's start with presenting some of our experts here. So Andrea Fumagalli, Senior Director Orchestration and Automation at Sumo, that supports customers to take full advantage of potential of Sumo Cloud SOAR. Michele Zambelli, Senior Director Orchestration and Automation, responsible for SOAR R&D area, and Dario Forte, Vice President and General Manager Orchestration and Automation at Sumo, formerly CEO at the founder of DF Labs, a pioneer in SOAR technology acquired last year by Sumo. So let's start with Dario. Welcome, Dario, to this live. And the question here is, where is SOAR going? This curiosity is motivated by the large number of acquisitions made in the sector in the last 3 years. Please.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to be here. And
I think you are in mute.
which is the classical and yeah. So now hopefully you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Now as I say, the in the past 8 to 9 months there was a lot of acquisitions and financing rounds, including DF Labs acquired by Sumo. And that created a series of, let's say, two philosophical waves in the market. One is related to the fact that SOAR would be part of a big consolidation with the CM, but the other one was, and it is part of a way that SOAR is becoming a de facto object within the company security ecosystem, whereas the tool is not only a tool but is also a sort of connecting tissue where basically many objects within the organization are connected. In the past 2 months, I've spoken with industry analysts a lot about this apparent dichotomy, and we also published a blog on Sumo's website about the main question if whether or not SOAR is actually in a crossroad. And we strongly believe that SOAR has a has the possibility, the big potential, or of becoming the real connecting tissue, not only for security operation centers, but also for anybody involved into security that needs to automate a series of tasks that, for some extent, cannot be performed manually. But we also believe that, especially for Sumo, the SOAR is not only a product that can be proposed and sold to customers and MSSPs and so forth for security purposes, but also a sort of meta engine that can serve multiple chassis, if you want to take the automotive example. We already saw many use cases where the automation and orchestration capabilities are actually becoming part of a platform ecosystem, and we are going in that direction. So, getting back to your question, we don't believe that the acquisitions that have been conducted in the past 12 months, so to speak, are actually going to kill the SOAR market, but they are actually bringing the SOAR as an object into a new gen, into a new journey where the SOAR will be able to serve multiple use cases and also the standalone kind of activity at the same time. This is also confirmed by the fact that part of our interaction with analysts was also directed to, to know what the investment community is doing for automation and orchestration, and it came out the fact that several venture capitalists are actually investing in a second round of standalone SOAR companies that at the moment we are still seeing as a sort of early stage, so not properly comparable technically with the more mature product, but there is a confirmation of the fact that we are going into a direction where automation is starting to become a serious and validated market. Sumo has a strong strategy on that, and we would like also to invite you to look at our website where we published, I would say, a pretty comprehensive blog post about where we are going with Sumo. Enrico?
Thanks, Dario. And now let me ask to Andrea, why is automation becoming more and more crucial in cybersecurity operations centers, and where should one start to initiate an automation project, Andrea?
Yeah, first of all, the attack landscape is continuously evolving. As we know, the number of attacks and the, let's say, complexity of the different type of attacks is continuously growing as well. So lately, it appears that it's not possible to manage those incidents manually with just human analysts. So the usage of a tool helping to resolve, automate, let's say, enrich and automatically respond to incidents is something that more and more appears as evident with all our customers and with most of the prospects we talk with on the market. So this is mostly the reason why the SOAR market is currently booming. How to approach successfully an automation project is something that we have developed over the past 10 years, because this is result of our experience. We typically suggest to start analyzing the existing incident response processes who are already in place. If they're not there, of course, we can help designing them, consolidating them, and structuring the way the different analysts can collaborate and work together. Then step number 2 is to identify the technologies that will be within the perimeter of the, let's say, automation and orchestration, which implies also to identify the different actions that are part of being automated. And then this comes also to considering the approvals, because approvals, especially when applying remediation, are always part of the procedures of every standard operating procedures that are existing in customers' organizations. Then finally, this all drives to creating the real workflow, what we call the playbook, which is a graphical representation of the steps that should be done for implementing, of course, the automation. And then last but not least, which is an important component, the training. Training the staff, either they are SOC analysts or maybe security practitioners or forensic investigators, anyone working in the cybersecurity area, is very important, because adopting a SOAR means a shift in their mindset, moving out of the idea of running maybe tens or hundreds of mundane, repetitive, and time-consuming tasks to concentrate on evaluating the conditions, evaluating the result of the analysis that was done, let's say, automatically by the SOAR, and taking the decision, which results in applying what we call a well-aware and more responsible decision process.
Andrea, so how long does it take to implement a SOAR?
Okay, this is a tricky question, because it all depends from the organizations, how well structured they are, how many analysts they have, how, let's say, involved are what we call the subject matter experts. And of course, it depends also on the number of playbooks, different type of attacks that they want to automate or implement. Typically, our experience says minimum a couple of weeks, considering all together, till maximum something like 2-3 months. If of course, the process is pretty sophisticated, which maybe sums up to 70, 80 different actions to be, let's say, configured to be executed automatically, or, as I mentioned, a couple of weeks if it's just a matter of 15, 20 actions. Another variable is if, of course, we need to have the process reviewed. This might sometimes adds up because the design of the procedure, getting the appropriate approval, having all the different teams signing off and buying into the deployment of an automated process, sometimes it's a variable that adds up some delays.
Okay, thank you. So we have seen how important it is to create structured processes to respond to many different types of attack. I wonder how important flexibility is when it comes to automation, and what is the philosophy adopted by Sumo Logic. Michele, this is for you.
Yeah, it is very, very important to have this type of flexibility. This is why we built inside the cloud SOAR application what we call open integration framework. The open integration framework is the feature that permits to each user, to each end user, to have the complete visibility on what is executed by the automation engine. Because the code of the integration is open, so the end user can review the code, can modify the code of each integration, can add more action or more advanced feature that the open framework permit to do. So with this open framework, we extend virtually to an unlimited level the number of automation that can be plugged into the system and can be executed by the playbook and the automation engine in general. The automation, the open framework permit to, for example, to create from scratch any type of integration, also known by name of connector. So the permit to talk with external technologies, not only via API calls, but it is possible to create bash script, PowerShell, code integration in Python, code integration in Perl. So many features are available. And consider that so far we are published more than 270 integration, because we have a dedicated team in Sumo that is allocated only to create this integration, and we create connectors every day. But there are many customers of us that for a series of reasons have internal system, custom system that need to be integrated with the cloud SOAR. And for this reason, they are able to create this integration autonomously without any problem. Another important part is related to the fact that in our application there is the App Central feature that is the repository of all the integration, all the playbook we publish, and also the use cases. The use cases are the combination of playbook and the integration. So the user can implement and install a use case that contain already configured playbook, configured integration, and be able to take the advantages of the automation and cloud SOAR in minutes, so very, very quickly. Another important fact of the open framework is the possibility to not only create actions, but inside the open framework, we permit also to create more advanced features like triggers, scheduled action, daemons, and so on. So this is a very powerful part of our cloud SOAR.
Yeah, thanks, Michele. So we have seen that the flexibility represent a very key point, because you have to build your own processes, and you have specific tools, you have specific processes, and you have to be flexible on doing that. So now going deep in the analyst point of view. So how does Cloud SOAR help the investigation from the analyst point of view?
Yeah, in many different ways. Because first of all, automating what is possible to automate, that is the main concept of SOAR. But in addition, we have a set of features that permit to the investigator to speed up the investigation activities, to share information between the other investigators, to collaborate more easily, to share documentation, to chat and have instant messaging with other investigator associated to a specific incident. We have a very complex airbag mechanism that permit to profile incident by role and so on. In addition, inside Cloud SOAR, there is a very advantage SecOps dashboard that permits to immediately have under control what are the manual and automated tasks that need to be considered and managed by each investigator. So every time the user login into the system, there are the most important information that need to be addressed. And the SecOps dashboard, in addition, permit to more high-level user to monitor the status of particular investigation, review the task status, and the team in general performances over an incident. So those are two of the most important features that permit collaboration, but another important point that permit to be more effective during investigation is the possibility to customize the tool in any way. So every section of the tool can be customized in terms of layout, in terms of data attribute, and so on. So this is a very important part of the tool.
Thank you, Michele, for the explanation. Dario, would you like to add something? You are in mute.
I think I'm going to sue this application because they are terminate my ability to speak. Very quickly, the average to build a new integration and or a new playbook for Sumo Cloud SOAR is 3 to 5 days building from scratch, unless there is something very, very complicated. But we have many proof where we actually did that in a shorter time, and that is very important to underline in this particular case, because that positively impact both on POVs and also implementation time. And just 5 seconds, because I want to retake what Andrea said before some purists come out and say that usually SOAR requires more time. It all depends from the flexibility and the ability to build around a core of open integration like we have. If you don't have such capability, then it's going to take longer. But if you have such ability, I think I'm very confident that those timelines that Andrea underlined are absolutely achievable, and we are plenty of examples. Enrico?
Thank you, and thank you to everyone. Last question for you, Dario. So, which is the level of adoption, current and prospective, of SOAR in the cloud or SaaS versus on-premise solutions?
It used to be unbalanced to on-prem until a year ago. We are assisting to a strong increase of interest into the cloud version. That's why we accelerated in building and transitioning what it used to be a on-prem software, the DF Labs Inkman of a year ago, into a pure cloud native cloud SOAR, which is what we are selling now with Sumo. Also because it is able to guarantee a absolutely robust level of security. So also the surrounding area of security of cloud mid is absolutely satisfied, and at the same time it allows a series of scalability tasks that vary from reproduction and scalability of playbook distribution, architectural performance, and all these things that are absolutely cool in cloud. US, of course, is on top of the list in terms of adoption. The other theaters, so the other geography, are accelerating in adopting the cloud version. We have many POVs now in cloud, also in Europe and in Asia, that used to be conservative. and we foresee an extreme growth of cloud adoption also in such regions in the next 12 months.
Thank you, thank you. So, if you have any question, write to us at sales@sumologic.com or visit our SOAR web page. So, if you will be at the RSA, please visit us at the booth 5463 in the North Hall. 5463. I have to remember because in the RSA, there's the risk to lost the position.
Michele, if we have 2 minutes, can we share with the audience or the innovation that we are conducting? We just announced let's say, a more advanced version of the War Room. We did it around a month ago. We built it, the War Room, in purpose of being compliant with the series of additional tasks. Could you please tell us what is the War Room about?
Yeah, the war room is one of the feature of the component that is included inside an incident. So every time an incident is created, the war room is the place where automatically all the most important events of an incident are recorded, and where the user can manually add more information, and is the place where it is possible to share between investigators many information, evidence, artifact. So it is the container of the most important factor about an incident, and of course, having so much information, those information can be filtered, can be exported. There are many type of visualization included into the war room. So it is the focal point of an incident, very, very important part of collaboration.
Sounds good. Thank you to everyone. So see you soon, and please contact us. Remember, sales@sumologic.com. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Goodbye.